Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So you were telling me about the social media.
Do you follow me? Do you look at what I share?
I don't even want to say influencer.
He's
They're not influencing anything.
He influences me. He makes me laugh.
No.
Do you follow me? I think I'm a good follow because I'm a good sharer. If you want a good person to follow where you're just going to see silly stuff, like the silliest, some of it very bizarre.
Yeah.
Like people falling over. Like I shared a very large man sitting at his kitchen table, and he falls out of the chair, and then he lets out like a huge mega fart, like it had to release.
Okay.
Like he would have exploded if he did. Oh, it's so funny. So I have like a lot of that stuff. I have no politics. I have cats and dogs, puppies, good stuff, and then I share this one guy. He's doing this. I'm not portraying him as this.
Oh.
He's like a sneaky Asian guy, and he teaches you how to do sneaky things.
Okay.
So I know what you're thinking. But he'll teach you, like, one of them was, and he's my favorite. I share him all the time. So if you follow me, you'll see the guy.
Okay.
Hold on, that's how I get him. That's how I'll get it. I'll go back through my own stuff I shared.
Yeah, recently shared.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going back here. Okay, hold on. I also shared that Shifty Shell Shock, Seth Benzer from the band, what was the band that did Come My Lady, Come My Lady? He passed away.
Butterfly?
He passed away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we ever find out what he died from?
It was an old age. We know that.
Yeah.
I must not have shared one of these guys' things. Anyway, it's this Asian guy, and he teaches you how to steal food with his chopsticks. So, like, for instance, you might be.
My grandfather would have liked this.
Yeah, so he's got glasses. He looks sort of like Clark Kent. He's like an attractive, tall Asian guy, and he's got his chopsticks, and he'll be like, how to steal a dumpling while you're out at a group dinner. And he'll slide his chopsticks in, and he'll grab one dumpling, and then he'll use his pinky and ring finger to slide under 3 other dumplings, and then he pulls them back, and then he looks at the camera, and his eyebrows go, boing, 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 boing. and he's sort of like, ooh, sneaky. Like, it's very, very sneaky.
My pop-up would have loved that.
This guy's got the goods. He's my favorite. And then the last one he did yesterday, it was how to sing karaoke poorly.
Okay.
So it was him singing, and he's singing Sia's Chandelier, He's like, play the song from your phone. So he takes his phone out sneakily, and he holds it up to the microphone and plays the song. And then he looks at the camera, and his eyebrows go, oh, God, dude. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It's all
You don't seem
garbage.
as impressed. You don't seem as impressed, but I'll show it to you later. I'll show it to you later. I think you'll like it.
I'll tell you about some social media account that Crystal showed me.
Okay.
She's like, look at this lady, and it's the excuse me lady. Have you heard of this lady? It's what I see. You can only see her from the back, but she seems like an older black lady that has the ability. This is crazy.
Is it a superpower she has?
No. She has the ability to walk crouched down, right? So she walks like. Could you imagine if you crouch down all the way to the floor?
My hips are too bad.
Like this.
Yeah.
But then you could walk.
Well, that's how I live my life.
So you could walk like this.
Look at this. It's like this is a mediocre time with Dan and Tom.
So imagine I'm down here like with my legs bent, right?
Yes.
And then I could walk full speed like down here.
Fast?
Yeah, like with strides down here.
Call your wife. I need this. I need this URL.
And then
I need this name.
So she walks like that in the grocery store. And
need this.
And then she tells people, "Excuse me, you're in my way."
See, you don't have a deep cut like me. Everybody in the chat room knows what you're talking about.
You're
on the trends,
short
dude.
walking
You're
black
on the
lady.
trends. You have your thumb on the pulse, man. I'm way behind.
And then her whole content, and then there's some. I guess her videographer is behind her.
Well,
but
I think you're being nice, right, with that videographer.
And
right?
then she just walks in a grocery store, and then she scares people because she's like, "Excuse me, you're in my way." And then they see her, and he's like, "Oh!" And then that's it. That's
so
her
it's
content.
like
That's the whole thing.
So it's people being scared.
Yeah. By
of
short walking
a little
black lady.
little walking black lady. Okay. I support
that's
that.
it.
I support this. In some
And
areas,
she's dressed in all black and has long black hair like a witch.
Just as many people digesting this content as all the Super Bowls combined.
I know, yeah.
Just as many people as all
50 million views.
Yeah, 100 billion. The black lady witch, little person.
She's not even a little person. She's a full-size person.
She's obviously taking advantage. It wouldn't be as ridiculous if she walked regular speed. The off-putting walking that. Come on.
Well, she's walking low.
She's
honest. Low walking.
But be honest. Low walking is off-putting.
It is. And then
sometimes I
scares
scare
people.
you. I come out of the bathroom, jump out of the way.
And that's the entire content.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I don't have any idea. I don't think she makes any money. There's no commercials.
But she's famous.
She's famous for nothing. For this, and she's
Right.
probably crazy,
Right?
Because there's so many mentally ill people, and
Yes.
not that this lady is, but there's so many mentally ill people that have video cameras now on their cell phones.
Yeah, we should have never
and
let the
social
mentally
media,
ill people have the video cameras.
and they're
right?
just creating content or just watching it.
Yeah, I do. It does. If you looked at my reels, a lot of what I watch is mentally ill.
You
right?
know, I don't know. This is kind of
a window into places I should not see. Right? It's like
Yeah.
always having a mild faces of death at your disposal at all times. You just pop it open and you can watch crazy things. I will defend my stealing the food Asian man. He's funny. He's like a comedian.
Yeah.
This guy's great. I love.
Well, this
that.
lady's doing this on purpose. She realizes it's absurd.
Yeah.
Like
She'll be at the Funny Bone in a couple of weeks.
so.
Walking across the stage. 3 shows. One on Sunday, 5 p.m.
Speaking of mental illness,
I'm right here.
And this is.
I'm looking for a new shrink. They're all virtual now. There's no humans.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
There's no humans. Every place, first of all, every place I write to find a shrink, I'm virtually certain AI is writing back to me at all times.
All right.
So the last place I wrote to, they said they have in-person and virtual. I said, I would like in-person, please. They said, sure, we'll call you. Then they call me. They're like, we'd like to set up the time. I said, how about this Tuesday at whatever when you have that opening? They're like, sure. Now, you do know this will be virtual, right? And I was like, well, I thought you said you do face-to-face. They're like, oh, no. We don't take any more face-to-face. We haven't taken any more face-to-face since COVID. That's over.
Well,
that's done. It's all virtual, and it's the same price. It's the same price for a virtual shrink as it is a regular shrink. There's no price cut, and
it should be cheaper.
They're not
virtual.
putting themselves out there anymore, dude. I don't even think they like to do it. Shame on you, mental health people.
I'm sure
Shame.
That's just certain businesses. There's still therapists.
The last 3 I've called have been like, no, I'm sorry, we're taking. They'll be like this. This is where you know it's a money grab. They'll be like, well, we can't take you in person, but we can take you virtually. Yeah, of course you can take me virtually because you don't have to really do anything. You're just staring at me over the screen, collecting your $150.
Well, it's a way easier to do it virtually for them, the schedule-wise. Like, instead of people are late, and then they're sitting in the lobby, and then you have to go get them.
They're the worst people, too.
And then you
people
have to
that get
be in the room
mental
with
health
them.
help. Have you gotten it? Have you been in the room with all of them? Oh, it's terrible.
I don't need any mental health.
yeah, you tell me that.
So I don't know nothing about it.
That's fantastic.
No,
I love that so much. That's so good.
But if they offered a discount for virtual,
no, there is no discount.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no,
because there is a difference.
So here's the last
I
one.
would
and
imagine.
You're gonna laugh at this. You're gonna really laugh at that. I know. I can predict the things because you love it when people tell me really horrible things. And I wrote to the people and I said, I was talking to this lady. I said, well, I thought it was in person. And she's like, oh no, sir, we're doing virtual. Is that not gonna work? And I was like, well, yeah, it's not going to work. It's a completely different thing. And she's like, well, I'm so sorry. It's good day. So we hung up.
Yeah.
So I couldn't let it rest, right? I'm sitting here. I was back here. I have a Diet Mountain Dew. I got a stick in my craw now. So I write back to the lady and I said, not trying to be a pain. Your website said that if you
keep it going. Yeah.
I said your website.
At least they're used to it.
Well, but this is what I said.
All their customers.
I said
are having problems.
I said your website said you offered both virtual and in person. Now I'm finding out you don't offer in person. I said, can you help me by possibly, because a lot of mental health professionals and shrinks and counselors will offer up other, like, their contemporaries. I was like, do you have any recommendations for any people in the area that might be taking in person? And I made a joke. I was really cool about it, and I was like, because I guess I'm a little old school, and haha, that emoji, lighten it. And she writes back, try Psychology Today.
The magazine?
She wrote back, try Psychology Today with a link. It's at psychologytoday.com. And I click on it, it just goes to the magazine. True story. Try
funny.
Psychology Today.
Well, she doesn't want your business.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
I guess not. And they're local, too. Shame on you guys. Shame on you.
So, well, think about it. If you're a therapist and you can get everybody in on Zoom, that's an easy day, right? You just sit there on
then
Zoom.
You're just doing the radio DJ. It's like, oh, hey, we got Ingve Malmsteen. Come zoom him in. All right, tell us about your new album. Who cares? Didn't care in the first place. It shows that you don't care, right? It's honest. When you are a Zoom-only mental health professional, it shows that you care one full step less. One full step. And I'm not saying that it couldn't be beneficial to other people, right? That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, first of all, don't lie about it. And second of all, there should be a price cut. Because all these other people out there that I know have worse insurance than my wife has, because I don't have insurance, I'm on hers. I know they're paying full price for Zoom.
I do agree with that, because there is a difference, and you're getting a little less through Zoom than you would in person.
I think it's a lot less. It's an energy. Like when we do interviews in here, we've had Steve-O on our couch, and we've had Steve-O via Zoom, and which was better.
Yeah. You can't fall in love with your therapist unless you do it in person.
Well, no.
This
is where you're wrong.
And then have fantasies when you leave. You're like, what if she seduced me here? I've had that.
See,
before.
the difference is, I would say, you go to the first one in person. That way, the second one you can take your pants off. That's the Zoom one. That went. Okay.
So speaking of like mental illness and therapy and all, like
DJ.
So and social media.
Yes.
So we have a friend, me and Crystal, that we knew from high school, and we all of our friends knew them, and they have progressively gotten worse mental health wise.
Sorry, man, that's sad.
It wasn't like this when they were in high school.
Do I know these people? Haven't met them? That sucks, man. I'm sad. That makes me sad.
Anyway, she's gotten to the point where she videotaped, like Crystal showed me a video. It's super sad. But the cops are there, and she's screaming, and sort of.
I always thought I'd be like that.
I mean, it's real bad.
I always thought I'd be on the balcony, and Andrea would be whacking me with a broom.
And then she's screaming.
I look like something in a Pirates of the Caribbean.
And then she's going from Spanish to English, and it's kind of like she's switching personalities, and it's just real bad.
That's
and then,
but cool.
But she's broadcasting this live on her social media, and the cops are there.
This is going back to your mentally ill people with cell phones
and
or
then
cameras.
And then I'm like, Crystal's like, this is real sad. And I'm like, why are you showing me this? Because we can't help her. Apparently our family.
I mean, you might as well tune in for the broadcast because the viewers. How many followers she have on Twitch?
It's a good question.
Do you subscribe? The best you can do for her is to subscribe to her chat.
It's
super sub.
It's on a social media platform that has the ability to go live, and she's broadcasting this.
A lot of them have.
Yeah. I don't want to say it because I don't want to embarrass a person.
I got you.
Even though not embarrass them because obviously she's doing it. You put it out there, but then you see that and you're just like, the hell do you? It's like do you stop looking at it at a certain point?
Where the cops like, hey, put your phone down.
No, because then you realize like all the cops are doing 90% of their time is dealing with mentally ill people.
Right.
And they're
just driving around.
The cop's just standing there, hey,
and
he's on his radio.
Cool down.
Yeah,
man.
Hey, and she's screaming.
Get a glass of water, man.
And so anyway,
that was an uplifting story.
Yeah. It reminded me of like. You just have the ability to put anything out there anymore, and there's no, anybody could do it.
Well, it reminds me of, and I don't know why this got buried. I don't know why we didn't. I mean, we've brought it up maybe twice on this particular show, and I don't understand why it faded away. But there was a time when someone was live streaming And remember Andy Dick was live streaming and he got in a fight with his roommate and there were like guns involved and
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, there's been lots of like crazy things.
but
that
I
have
mean
been
like
live streamed,
this is a
but yeah,
famous
yeah.
person
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
you do not expect to. And again,
Is Andy Dick still alive?
he's mentally ill, right?
Yeah,
we
yeah,
know
yeah.
that. We know the guy has some issues. Yeah, I think he's still alive. I can find out for you. Yeah, I think he's. I don't know what he's been up to lately, but
Got to be it is.
Oh, 5 days ago. Dang, 5 days ago, dude.
Okay.
Maybe I've got my thumb on the pulse of Hollywood. Andy Dick arrested on felony theft charge in Los Angeles. Actor and comedian.
5 days ago.
5 days ago. Yeah. No. This is 2014.
Oh, okay.
What? My God. It's like I've got
Well,
my
10
thumb on
years
the
ago.
pulse. This is from 2024. Okay. Here we go. April. I got April. That's pretty close.
Okay.
Andy Dick looks disheveled, staggering down LA streets, talking to himself as he smokes crack from a pipe.
All right.
That's
yeah.
not good.
Yeah, it progressively gets worse apparently.
Yeah.
And
He was
you
a
know.
talented guy. Super funny on news radio.
Yeah. And
But I think Hansy Creepo, right?
I don't know.
Well,
I
hasn't
think-
he always been known for doing weird stuff? I mean, you saw him shave his pubes at a comedy club.
Yeah. Yeah.
For Christ's sake.
That was in 2000. God.
Now, hold on. I could make an argument
3.
that shaving your downstairs at a comedy club is pretty close to smoking crack in 2024. So maybe he just kind of stayed on the same wavelength for a little while.
Going back to just ridiculous social media. Again, calling
I don't
them
think you do
influencers
it.
is ridiculous.
I don't think you do what me and Crystal do.
What?
I don't think you follow, like Crystal and I are the ones following like the lady that walks like a little person, and I follow like I follow all the weirdos. I got the daddy long neck,
I
wide
see
neck.
it. I
but
just
you're
don't
not,
follow.
But you try to get your algorithm like
Yeah.
running and gambling and things like football, and I'm
Only things I
and
want.
I
yeah.
just want Beetlejuice and Beetlejuice adjacent things all day. That's what I want.
but
I
that's-
just want to laugh all day.
But that stuff gets into my algorithm because I'll watch it. And then if Crystal sends me the video of the lady walking short through the grocery store and I watch it, then that it counts as my algorithm, I think, too, right? My algorithm sees that I watched it on Instagram Reels, and then my Instagram algorithm will give me more of that. I'm not even sure how it works.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
You know, it's funny. All these social media platforms don't really explain it in their like settings. Or, you
I
know?
think that's
No, I know that's on purpose,
I mean,
but
that's what you're doing.
but it would be interesting if they just told you like, here's how to form your algorithm the way you want it.
I know we got to get out of here, but are you familiar with Zigazoo?
What is that?
Are the boys on that?
No.
See, I don't really even know this much about it. Andrea could. Zigazoo is like and Maisie has an account that Andrea set up, but apparently it's a video and photo sharing platform for kids only. That everything that's submitted is
Vetted?
by an actual human,
Okay.
and she's on there, and I have my reservations about it. You know what I mean? Like,
Is it social media for kids?
yeah.
Okay.
So like Maisie, like what she has on there is very much like what your algorithm would be. It's like all dance, like clips from Dance Mom
Okay,
that
yeah,
are
yeah.
approved, or like a girl doing a dance, at a competition or something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah,
But
yeah.
apparently it's like vetted. I don't know.
Well, I
Too
mean,
young.
You know,
I don't like it.
it's
Too young.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about how you use it and what you're using it for, right?
Correct. It is. It's just
tool.
like teaching a child about weapon safety. It's no different, right?
Yeah.
Is that how
should
you
I
should
do
look
that?
at it?
Yeah.
That's how you should look at it, right?
I was gonna get my guns out of the safe and be like, "Here's a gun. Should I do that?"
Wave it around. Get a good feel for
No,
it.
I'm
Yeah,
just like, don't touch it.
Yeah.
But this is what it looks like. Feel the weight of
Yeah.
it.
Well, how do you feel? Makes you feel like a
Like-
goddamn man, doesn't it? Hold it. Go in your room, put a tank top on, come back out. Hold that thing. Hold it up next to your face and look in the mirror. How do you feel?
It's got no bullets. It's fine.
Can you feel your arm under your the hair under your arms growing?
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
That goes where?
That's Wednesday, 2.
And I edited the lady yesterday. Not that it was a big deal, but. Oh, Mike. You know, I honestly don't know about that, dude. I apologize. That's a setting, and I've been wrangling with that. They'll be up today. I'm sorry. What time do you normally watch, Mike? Because I can probably get in a better workflow schedule. Remember I told you that Twitch is holding our videos, and then I have to go in and manually publish them now? It's a new setting they changed too. Yeah, YouTube's instant. They just start processing. Twitch always was instant. But you got to go in, you know, and then you got to like step through a couple of little, you know, click through deals and yeah, let me see what I can do. I'll jump in there right now. It's they may not have any notes or artwork or anything, but I should be able to do it for you. Let me see. All right. All right, yeah, they'll at least be up for you guys. They should be up right now. There you go. So yesterday's should be good. Give it like 5 minutes and then refresh. Sorry about that. I wish I knew why they did that. SJ and I were talking about how they all... Oh, is it up there? Fantastic. SJ and I were talking about how just when you get used to something, they change the entire interface and it'll change every aspect of what you got used to. I just got really comfortable with my workflow on Twitch, so it's like super fast and snappy, and then it just makes the day so much longer.
Mm.
But if you think about it, it would be to their... It would be smart of them to have people hold videos before publishing because it takes weight off the system, I would imagine.
Okay.
Instead of just forcing them through.
Yeah.
But SJ knows way more about it than I do. How's the stream still looking? Is this browser still keeping us nice and good here? We got about 3 minutes.
Yeah, Joseph texted me.
Oh, good. I gotta find this sneaky Asian guy, dude. He's so funny. Your Pyro Spot got me a Facebook. Your Pyro Spot Gatling gun video got me a Facebook strike.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. What was that?
Because it's a gun. And they're like, nope.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it said it flagged it for firearms resale. Firearm resale.
Was it just the video from...
The one we did. Just the video where you're like, hey, everybody.
Okay,
Because I just shared it from Instagram, and it made it to Facebook. It's still on Instagram.
And then I saw it on Facebook. Our normal account didn't get flagged.
I don't think
right?
it got flagged.
So you just got flagged from sharing it?
Yeah, my
Weird.
personal account.
Weird.
And then there was this whole thing about like it goes against our marketplace settings. It's firearm resale is not allowed. And then it gave me another list of all these other things that are not allowed to sell. And then it made me click a thing to agree. It forces you to like, do you agree or do you want to like get somebody else to look at it? And it won't let you do there's a button that says like, do you want to like appeal or whatever? And it's not even a thing. It's not even active. Yeah, you just like agree.
Yeah, because it's all just some sort of like software that flagged it, you know. It's not, no human did it.
EJ said the therapist flagged my video. It's like, I'll get this motherfucker. And it went up. It's not even 150. It's 165 for a session.
God damn.
And it's not even an hour, dude. It's 50 minutes. Our guests are here. Hold on.
It is. It's hot.
How's it going, you two?
Good. YouTube, just so you know.
Okay.
You want to start screaming or ripping the clothes off.
Fantastic.
Do you want a drink or anything?
I'll see what you got.
We've got water, we've got some sodas, and we've got some, there's bottles, there's beers, we have Mountain Dew, but that's, it's caffeinated, but it's trashy.
We need to get some Diet Cokes.
Caffeinated.
We forget that not everybody drinks our Walmart blood. That we,
What is Walmart blood?
just Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew. It's just it's the blood of the Walmart.
Delicious.
How you been?
I'm good. You?
Good.
I always
Real good.
forget that you have so many damn cameras. I'm like, oh, it's radio.
Yeah, and they're on right
Yeah.
now too. So
Let's go
I'd like
let
to
my hair wet.
I'd like to reiterate that. Well, I can turn them off for
I know,
being.
it's fine.
We didn't want to do cameras. That was
Yeah.
not the plan.
Well, I mean, you're killing it now.
Well, I don't know, but we're killing something. I'm killing my own
How are
career.
you guys doing?
We're good, man. Families are good. The business is chugging along nicely. All small businesses are scary, but you guys know that because you've been small businesses for
Yeah.
your entire careers.
Yeah, kind
You
of,
know?
pretty much.
Whether it's a
It changes every day, you know. I'm
Right,
sure you
right.
Guys with technology and everything, it's like you got to be on top of it.
I mean,
What do you have to do to get your pillowcase?
oh, those are you could do those. That would be a pretty nice Sunday morning coming down deal, right? A
Could we
pillow
send
with you
you
on
a
it. That
few
that's
for people
so
to
every year. Bart and Crystal, the Bart Merrick team, our realtor team,
Yeah.
and obviously Crystal's Tom's wife.
Yes.
They get try to get the upsale from the pen company. Sends them one of these pillows, right?
It's
Or it's a photo company.
it's when they do their Christmas cards.
It's the cards.
They have to do their Christmas cards every year, so they send them a free promotional pillow in case they wanted to buy
That's
one.
the fancy one because they put the logo
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
back.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
the hard sell one, the one that Joseph has. Like they were hard selling them with the double.
So this is
yes,
a
both
complimentary that
sides.
they get.
Yeah, that's the one that and every year we get one, and it's like it kind of is exciting now.
Yeah, I would say so.
We printed an extra one out last year because the listeners like them so much that the whole studio is just becoming like.
Yeah, it's great.
But every comedian we have in, it looks at it and is like, "Why's your wife with another man?" Like always the Tom, like forever.
At least Santa's in between
Correct.
them.
correct.
So there's a buffer there.
Turn on your microphones here. We have a different setup now, so a little bit different of
Pull her
a
in?
setup. Yeah, go
I don't know
ahead.
how close
you
to get
guys,
it, or-
about an inch off, and then I'll just back them down for you guys.
All right.
But just make sure you can hear, and then whatever numbers on your headphones,
You
obviously,
want-
is the.
You want our own
Number
personal
for you.
pillows. I would get their pillows on, their faces on a pillow for us.
It would be cool to get all of our
My
lists.
bad.
It would be cool to get all of our guests pillows of themselves on our couch, but you'd have to do it fast in the
You know,
bathroom.
Yeah.
Have to have a printer in the bathroom. You know,
Bathroom pillow.
a bathroom fabric printer, a fabric
That'd
printer.
Take up some space.
Yeah, it would. It would. We do everything DIY here. All right.
That's all right. Just give some people some pillow markers and a blank canvas. Go to town.
Just start. Yeah. What is the strangest item we've ever had?
Like for sale,
Yeah.
promotion wise.
Yeah. Was it the shitty coolers from China? We bought these coolers that we thought were gonna look really cool. They looked like they had like handles on them and everything. And when they came in, they were like this big with a tiny little handle, and they were printed like so terribly. So we just
That was
sold
the
them,
shittiest
and we
one.
just called them Chinese shit coolers on the website, and they sold out instantly.
Like
people
for
are
one
like,
ice
yeah.
cube.
Yeah,
basically,
yeah,
with
Yeah,
soda.
it
Two
was like
beers.
it was like a flimsy lunch bag, like a terrible lunch bag. Okay,
You guys are good promotional sellers then.
I guess.
You never know what you're going to get on the internet.
Mr. Van, would you like to begin?
Yeah.
And you guys can hear okay? Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right.
And
cool.
this will go out Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Is it, just so you know.
What Jessy
Yay, good.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm way behind.
Thursday.
Wednesday.
Today's
Today
Wednesday,
is
yeah.
Wednesday.
This will be tomorrow's show.
And just turn that mic if that guy.
And
right
obviously,
there. There you
we
go.
are live now on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Joseph,
this
you
will
know
be
how
on the
to use
radio.
that?
He uses it all the time.
No.
He knows what he's doing.
On the other side of the room.
He knows what he's doing. All right. We have such a laid back atmosphere here. I like that. It's
I'm
chill.
barely out of the shower.
You're fine. You're fine. Would you like to begin?
Yeah. let's do it.
Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
If you haven't checked out that Guinness exhibit, the Orlando Science Center Guinness Book of World Records exhibit that they have.
It's the science of Guinness.
My mom took the boys and Becca, my niece,
Nice.
yesterday, and they loved it.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
the first time they saw the life
Well, it's
exhibit.
humongous. It's such a big exhibit that you can't even fit the entire exhibit within the hall they have. They had to take like a couple of the actual items like science experiments and put them in the lobby.
Yeah.
It's huge. But yeah, go check it out. It's the science of Guinness Book of World Records.
And did you know if you're a senior citizen, you get their senior citizen discounts, $3 tickets.
Oh, wow.
That my mom.
I bet you got
Yeah, she's like, I got $3 tickets.
She's like, hell yeah.
And I'm
Get
like,
it.
$3 for that science center? Oh, they were there all day.
I
Anyway.
mean, honestly, it's $3 for the air conditioning. You know, like walk around,
It's
cool
awesome.
off
Yeah.
a little bit, right? It's $3.
So every year when this couple's in town,
Yes,
they're
they're two of my favorite people.
They always swing by to tell us about their adventures,
The travels.
what they're what they've been up to.
They're the troubadours,
and
trekking their way through the world, bringing melodies and songs where they go.
Joseph and Jessy Martin are here. How you
Hi,
guys doing?
guys.
See if this works.
Before you introduced us, I was like, "Who's this couple you're talking about?"
I'm
It's
excited.
you
I
guys.
want to meet these
Yeah.
people.
Wow.
It's you guys.
So
Dang.
on paper,
You're like one of my favorite broadcasters, dude.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
seriously, like I listen to you all the time.
of course, Joseph from Sunday Morning coming down
Yes.
for how long has that show been on?
75 years.
It's got to be one of the longest running shows in Central Florida, right?
I get asked this question a lot, and I don't know exactly the answer other than it's got to be, pushing 16 years. But there was a period where I was exiled
Yes.
Yeah.
from Real Radio. Like, I think they fired all the DJs.
Yeah. They do that often.
Yeah, that's a thing. There seems to be a pattern of behavior.
It's
You
like
would
how,
think that-
Yeah.
how many are there that fire? I've never seen you hire, only
Yeah.
fire.
Don't they go
Yeah.
extinct at some point?
Yeah.
It's what do they call that in the Hunger Games when they?
Yeah.
It's a cleansing of sorts.
Yeah.
like
There should
Yeah.
only be
The-
one
the
left
reap-
now. It's
the reaping or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the chosen one.
they got rid of everybody and they went to classic rock, and then
Hot-blooded
that's right,
chicken shit.
more than a feeling and all that.
That was a dark time. That was a dark time.
they were going for the
Yeah.
the
Oh, that classic rock money.
I gotta get
How does that even work?
low hanging fruit.
You
But-
see all those landscapers out there? We're gonna get all their coin.
By the way, if you don't understand the business of radio, they don't understand it either. I'm
nobody
guaranteeing
does. Nobody
because
does.
I've asked internally what's going on here. No one knows. Anyways, go
Yeah.
back then.
But I think it was back in 2017 that they'd let me go, and then there was a period of time there where I just Jessy and I started planning our first trip to Alaska.
Yeah.
We were going to rent the house out, downsize, sell or give everything away that we didn't absolutely need, and then hit the trek with our dog and see the world, well, as far as we could with a motorhome.
Yeah.
And then Jack Bradshaw calls me out of the clear blue sky and says, "Hey, I've been silently petitioning to get you back on the air." And I'm like, "Well, that's
Ooh.
great news."
Like Littlefinger in Game
But
of
I'm-
Thrones,
I'm-
right? I
I'm
feel like
heading-
he's working in the shadows.
Right.
He's like, we must get this classic country rock back on real radio.
Exactly.
I need it. We definitely need it. Slip me a note.
So I
Send you a raven.
I was so excited to get the offer, but I had to turn it down because I didn't conceive the notion of being able to do it on the road until I called him back and said, "Is there a way we could do this satellite?" You know? And
Yeah,
he
yeah.
said, "Well, in theory, as long as you have Wi-Fi,"
Yeah.
which is a tall order, thinking going back 11 years ago,
Yeah.
traveling through Canada, you know,
It's nuts.
it was crazy. There were a lot of times when our only connection to the civilized world was through a McDonald's playground with Wi-Fi.
That's insane.
So you're doing
That's
Sunday
24
morning
hours.
coming down
Yeah.
at a McDonald's?
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
did.
We did.
Sunday
Absolutely did.
McGriddle coming down.
Yeah.
Then it was what, 4:35 in the morning, so we had to find like.
I had an
12 hours.
entire one of those indoor playgrounds to myself.
That's
And I was like,
awesome,
well,
though.
this is a great atmosphere. And this McDonald's had its own fireplace. Can you believe that?
Oh yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing.
It's cold up there.
Yeah, some of the new
Different.
Wendy's, even the ones in Florida, have fireplaces.
No.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, the new
It's the
remodel.
wall, the wall fireplace.
Yeah, they remodeled it and they put a fireplace in
Yeah.
there. Stupid.
Joseph, did you consider just pre-recording it? Because,
no.
Yeah, like
No,
I don't know.
no.
Does it have to be
That's
live?
so
Like, I mean, this show is pre-recorded. And
Don't
no
tell
one's-
people that.
And no one seems to care.
This show is not pre-recorded,
Hey.
and we never use AI. 100% AI free. That's the rule.
You just record it whenever you want, and just they air it later. No one knows.
And think in the
Or
future,
cares.
all DJs will be remote using a tiny box in their homes.
Yeah.
You know?
You can
Well, that's a
downsize.
great question, and I did pre-record it just a very small handful of times over the years, but it was really a pain in the ass to get all the and to make it sound natural, and also because a part of the show is listener requested. I found it was just easier for me to plan far enough in advance so I knew I was gonna
Yeah.
be at a safe Wi-Fi place. Or even if I have to pay top dollar
Yeah.
to stay at a hotel room
Sure.
that night, I know I've got, hotel Wi-Fi for what it's worth, and that for the most part has been, it's done well.
There were
It's-
plenty of times we had our big crappy old motorhome like pulled up as close to a motel as we could get, like
Yeah.
in 1, 2, 3 spots.
They start creeping, they send the cops to
He'd go
ask
in
you
there and
what are you guys doing?
Try
over
to
there?
steal off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Would they go and because this is where are we talking here? Like, is it somewhere in between Florida and Alaska, or is this in Alaska?
A lot of Canada was the problem because
Yeah.
it was just so
Isn't
rural.
Canada always the problem?
Yeah. Your grandpa hated Canada.
So
Oh,
if
his
you're looking for
grandpa.
Wi-Fi, just don't go there.
Yeah.
But for the most part, people were nice to him. You'd wander in there in the morning and just be like, I'm doing a radio show. They look at him like he was crazy,
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, they would just kind of give him the password.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah. Well, you have
Joseph-
that way about you. You're
Yeah,
a kind person. You're a
okay.
good human.
Like-
So I feel
Well, if you
like
just tell them the God's honest truth,
Yeah.
and then you can tell that part of the brain that kind of turns off. They're like, it no longer matters what it is you're asking. They just believe you're not going to burn the place down.
right. You're
And-
harmless
Yeah,
now.
And they're
sure.
like, okay, well, whatever you want, go
Yeah.
ahead, just set up over there. I'm like, no, I'm not going to set up inside. I'm going to be outside
Sure.
in my motorhome. I got a generator. I can turn it on, and Wi-Fi signal's fine. And then you go to the races and hope for the best. But occasionally it would drop out completely. And that's where Josh Pinkman he's been there since, since it wasn't long after Dan Stone, orchestrated getting us on the air and playing as producer,
Yeah.
co-host of Sunday Morning Coming Down. And then he got very busy with other things.
Yeah, a lot of
course.
people don't want you to ask you these questions. Tom and I, we're the hard-hitting reporters. I had heard that you and Dan had a pretty tumultuous breakup, and that he was a vile and disgusting human,
Always.
and
Oh,
so
yeah.
mean to you. And
Well,
it
that
broke,
does
and
make
it broke,
for a better story.
It broke you two apart. No, we love Dan, but yeah, it's funny. I'd forgotten about that. You're right. Josh is such a huge part of your show that I
Yeah.
forget that in the very beginning there was a Dan Stone there, which
Yes.
we love that guy,
It's
man.
like prehistoric.
Yeah,
From
well,
the very
I mean,
beginning.
it's hard to remember that the show has been going
Well,
for that long.
Joseph, it's cool that you keep doing it, because like a lot of people don't this is because for all intents and purposes, like the reason you do it is there's a passion involved in it, because it ain't, listen, we've worked in radio for a long time. It ain't the money.
We're not doing it for the money.
You're not gonna do anything to get
Yeah.
rich. So like
No,
when
no,
you
no,
hear
no, no,
Joseph's talking about this,
Yeah.
like he could easily have said, "This is not worth a pain in the ass. It's not worth me parking
Yeah.
my motorhome at McDonald's or these hotels."
Unless you really enjoy that.
Yeah, and doing it live every
I
Sunday, people take it for granted, because the fact that it is still a show, and on Sunday, because my wife, I remember 15 years ago, my wife, it was her favorite show. Still, she gets excited when
it's
she
great.
catches Sunday Morning Coming Down. She likes old country, and
I do too,
and so the fact that you still do it is a gift to all of us. Seriously, you know, because
the
you could
themed out shows are my favorite.
easily
I like coming in late
stop doing
and then
it.
trying to figure out which songs I already missed. You know what I mean? Like, oh, today it's like we're looking at Ladies of whatever, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I know I missed 3 songs already.
Yeah.
It's great, man. It's like
Thank you.
you're honestly doing it for the people.
Well,
you know?
yeah,
like,
I
seriously.
don't mean to speak for him on this, but it's so cool when we do come back to Orlando, because sometimes when you are out there and wherever we are and it's 5:30, 6 in the morning, it's like you're talking to nobody, and he's like, what am I doing? Just sitting on this computer in the dark. And then when we get back and he does an event and all these people show up and they're like, we listen every single Sunday. It's a really awesome reminder from all the people back here that support the show. You know,
Because Joseph, you know what's weird, and this is an interesting psychology.
her name's Jessy.
I know, no, I'm talking to John. No,
He doesn't like talking to women.
I see that.
He's a bit of a traditionalist.
It's like, I hear
Yeah.
I hear some ghosts talking. I was sitting here talking
as
to
soon
him.
as you said, I don't mean to speak for
My
him,
bro.
I
know.
was kicking me under the table.
I didn't want to
No.
step out of
This
place.
guy.
I know.
Yeah.
No,
Get back in the kitchen.
because like nowadays everybody's so used to, like, even right now on Twitch, like we're on Twitch and there's a chat room and there's people interacting with us right now in the chat room, right?
Yeah, you
So
know.
it's like there's real people like interacting live. And when you're doing terrestrial radio from your car in the dark in Canada, right? When,
McDonald's,
you
no
know,
less.
yeah. 3 hours earlier
sounds
than
very difficult.
you know,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you're doing. There is no feedback whatsoever. You're just you're talking. You're like, hopefully, so, and then
Yeah.
you get your feedback.
You may not even
6
get any
months
feedback
later.
from your loving wife
Yeah.
because she's asleep or something, right?
I am most of the time asleep at that hour.
Yeah, so you truly are alone. Maybe the dog, you know, like I don't know.
So imagine how weird that is. You're like, I don't. You hope people are listening, but meanwhile, there are a lot of people in Central Florida listening to this broadcast because they always have, but you don't even get the feedback for months later until someone's like, hey, listen.
It's like mailing
it's
a letter.
Weird. Yeah.
Right?
It
It's
is
like,
old.
It's like you're mailing a letter,
school.
and then you get home, and then you get all the letters back. You
Yeah.
know, like
and
from
you're
Santa
like,
Claus.
they got them.
Oh,
you
they like
know,
that.
Yeah.
it's weird.
Or like a message in the bottle from a
Sure.
from a island somewhere out in the Pacific. Well, now that you put it that way, I do wonder why the hell I've been doing it for so long.
I quit, right? Quit.
Oh my God,
You
if-
tell Jack,
if-
Tom
yeah.
told me to quit.
Jack, my phone starts blowing up.
Well-
I don't take it. Jack texts me. He's like, "What did Tom say?"
There
and I'm
is
like,
the
"Oh, God."
there is the super fancy 104.1 texting service that you are able to check
Yes.
in on.
Oh, that's cool.
77031.
Okay,
So
so there
see
is some
that.
Our
interaction.
hotline.
Yeah.
Which is
Connections.
usually just a bunch of crazy
Are there any
people.
songs? You can't,
Yeah.
are there any songs you can't find? Are there like do people hit you up and you're like, I can't find that? Or
Well, so the simple answer to that is that the reason why we had to stop taking requests by phone is because people would call in and say, hey, man, you know that song by that guy? He was in that movie. He was married to the girl with the big hoo-haws. And she was on that. It was about a radio station or something. It's like, oh, that's Burt Reynolds, Laurie Anderson, and that's
Lonnie, yeah.
Lonnie, thank
Lonnie
you.
Anderson, yeah.
And close enough.
I know my big
And
moments.
that's Smoking the Bandit,
Yeah.
Eastbound and Down. Like, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
But that conversation that I just condensed into 15 seconds would take about 10 minutes. And meanwhile, you're like an octopus trying to
Get the information.
juggle all
yeah.
these other things. So the texting is a lifesaver because they can send us the information pretty concisely. And if not, anybody can Google a lyric and find the name of the song. And like you mentioned, the themes kind of help keep it into some sort of a parlay
Yeah.
of consistency. It's a fun game
Yeah. It is fun.
to see if we can all find the songs that will fit within this particular limitation, because it's just there's so many songs to choose from in great country music. And luckily for Sunday Morning Coming Down, a lot of it's being overlooked by mainstream terrestrial radio because they're really focused on the top 40 stuff that's hot today. And whereas a lot of us, I think it's fair to say, we're kind of nostalgic. We have a sentimental attachment to the songs when we first experienced getting a buzz or are
I thought you were gonna go somewhere else there. But that's just because I'm a filthy pervert.
getting laid.
Yeah.
And all of our firsts are associated with this music that we grew up on, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
And for a lot of us, there's a strong connection to country music, which celebrates all that. And I think that's part of the popularity of Sunday morning coming down. And for me, I get a real kick out of getting to do it from wherever we are in the motorhome or wherever we happen to have flown into, getting to do it from China for 4
crazy.
Sundays in a row, and knowing that they were monitoring me and just now and then just pulling the plug to make sure that I knew that they were in control, that this was not something completely that I could just do it without any consideration of possibility of censorship.
Sure.
You know, getting to do it in Switzerland and Mexico. It just, the list goes on and on.
Where's next? Where do you continue with not only the show, but let's talk about your music and you guys playing in Juno Smile and
we've been doing. You know, we just got back from 3.5 months of doing a cruise with Carnival Vista. And that was kind of like a military boarding school meets high school band summer camp in the Caribbean islands.
Okay, all right. How did that work? Like, what was the schedule when you do a cruise like that? And like,
I've always wondered
what's the living like? And
I've always wondered how tight it is in there.
Well, we had some good training.
How tight it is.
You know what I mean? Like you're both sleeping in like in a room.
Yeah, they pack them. They pack the
them in their
employees.
height, man.
We were in bunk beds.
Yeah.
The first half I was in the bottom bunk, and then the second half I thought, man, I'll never live it
switched it
down
up.
if my wife falls out of the top
Oh
bunk.
God, that
So
would be terrible.
I got to take the top bunk, but kept on rearranging where the ladder was placed. So when you're getting out in the middle of the night and feeling around for the ladder, like trying to.
Yeah,
'cause
well, you're
it's-
at least tall.
it's
I
only
gotta have that thing.
It's only about 5 feet, but in the middle of the night, like taking that kind of fall would
It would
really
hurt.
be, But our schedule is 6 days a week. We play between 3 and 4 hour window.
It
And then
was a lot.
We'd
Ooh, that is
the
a lot,
only
right?
real complaint though is that when we did have time off, they kept us busy with other stuff, and 99.9% of that other stuff had nothing to do with music.
Oh, are they making you swap the deck or something? Like, what do you have to do other jobs?
No, but teaching us how to.
Yeah.
In theory, if there was an emergency and other people were busy that
It's like
were supposed to
maritime law.
swab
Oh,
the
they're
deck.
going through like drills
Going
and
through the
because
sh-
technically you guys are employees of the
Yeah.
ship,
Dude,
so
the
like
drills.
Where are the singer-songwriters?
Right,
Yeah.
get them here.
Hey,
Like,
so
you want us to be escorting people onto the lifeboats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
we're all-
seriously?
everybody's dead.
You want us to be the one going, come on, Grandma, get on the fucking boat.
Yeah. We learned how to do it.
So they were kind of running you through the drills because
Everybody has to do it when you're on the water.
It's maritime law,
yeah.
which is code for don't ask questions. You're doing it.
okay.
I think I saw pictures of you, like you guys saying like last day of mustard drill. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah.
you
Mustard,
guys,
yeah.
you guys were doing the last day of that. What does that entail? Like, what do you guys have to do for? Did you have to hold the sign and people have to walk up to you and you're wearing a
Yes,
bright yellow hat?
yes.
You wore the bright yellow hat?
No, I didn't wear the hat, but I was told to wear
You don't
the
know where
hat.
these hats have been.
Around the
They
world.
I mean,
Oh.
I took it for a photo, and it was off my head in a second.
Yeah.
In fact, I got yelled at because I went and I got a mic stand from my stage, and I put it next to me and put the hat on the mic
Brilliant.
stand.
Yeah, keep the lights on the mic stand.
And they were like, that lasted for like 2 hours, and they were like, that's a hazard. I'm like, well, I'm not wearing the hat, so it can be on the mic stand or it can be
Oh.
somewhere else. So it was
Could
a
you
lot
get in
of that.
trouble and go to the captain if they're like, you put on that GD hat?
Well, we did have the lifeguard people on the boat at one time, and that week they were really, really strict about it. But the remainder of the time, if you didn't wear the hat, nobody really.
Okay. Yeah,
Nobody
it's just
really
like when the
cared.
boss is
not
around.
the lifeguard, the Coast Guard.
The Coast Guard.
Coast Guard,
Oh, okay.
lifeguard.
Yes.
And they say
Lifeguard. You're too far out.
More sunscreen. That's right, Coast Guard.
Did you
See how
guys-
good I am at this?
Would you guys get off the boat or?
Oh, yeah.
And then like.
Yeah, but that's what was frustrating is the two main reasons that we did this, if I may speak for
Of
both.
course.
One was you could make money and save it because all of your costs, in theory, are taken care of.
Yeah,
that's
food,
one,
board,
right?
everything.
Gas,
But the other one, which
all
to
that.
me was equally important, if not more so, was getting schlepped to these different ports and getting off the boat and getting to explore and have the adventures like what Jesse and I have been doing over the years, going back and forth to Alaska and other parts of the world.
Yeah.
But when you're tied up doing these non-music duties, you're standing there during a drill with these giant, they look like minion, bright orange life preservers.
We sold those.
They come
Tom
right
thought
up
our
to your
listeners will
neck.
want
You
them.
can't really
Were they
move.
too super tiny
So-
too from China?
Tiny
Like
life
thousands of minions standing there on the deck. It's a beautiful day, and there, just out of reach, is land.
Oh, you see it.
And you're stuck there waiting for somebody to give you the clear that you can go. But at this point, now it's too late to do anything to get off the boat and go enjoy one of the main reasons
and they
why
do that
you're doing this
deliberately,
cruise.
I feel like, right?
Yeah,
I feel like they do
They're
that
like,
deliberately.
make them stand there and
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at where they want to go.
Yeah, it's like when I was grounded, and then my dad, like right at like 7:15, he'd be like, "You can go ride your bike around one loop." You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah,
Just to
and
get a
I'd take
taste.
it. I would take it.
You have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, because it's all I had.
Sanity.
So, would you do it again?
No.
Yes.
Oh my God! I put the camera on him too. I should have left it on both of you guys.
Oh, that couldn't
My
have been
God,
better.
That was so good.
So we can tell who liked it and who hated it.
Well, I think that if the circumstances, now that we
Yes.
know like what to specifically
Under the right
ask
circumstances.
about,
Is the money good?
yeah, it is. And you know what's better is we spend hundreds of dollars at restaurants and at gas stations
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we're in town. If you don't have that, it's incredible how that just goes away.
And the food was pretty good.
So yeah, the food is. I mean, so you could do that all, and then they did have a
The
really
crew
cheap
food was
bar.
really good.
Yeah, because you're
Every
essentially
night
eating
I
the
get
same.
a triple Guy Fieri burger.
Every
Every
day.
night, 5 patty. Every night, 5 patty
'Cause
Guy Fieri.
You're eating the same food as the guests.
Oh yeah,
essentially, you know.
we have full.
But we had
grain,
choice of the crew food as well.
which was awesome.
And most of the crew is from parts of like Southeast Asia. There's over 70 nationalities represented within about 1,400 people working on the ship. And so there's most of those nationalities are Southeast Asian. So there's a lot of curries, which we love.
Yeah.
A lot of
Okay.
spicy foods.
Spicy
we love
food.
that.
So they're cooking their own food essentially for the crew. and,
Yeah.
Well, there's a majority of the chefs and the people working under those chefs are from these countries. So they're literally using their grandmother's recipes, which in a lot of cases we were like,
God, I wouldn't
"Man,
bring
this is
those on
the
that
So
boat.
good.
I'm sorry. I'd say the dumbest thing.
But yeah, the,
all
the
those
food
people
was
too weren't as free roaming as we were. We are
That's
allowed to
true.
go to the dining room upstairs. We
Yeah.
are allowed to go to Guy
The
Fieri.
entertainers.
we were pretty
are-
Yeah.
special.
Yeah,
A lot of those people can't even go off of
if you
their
have up one of
decks.
those
Oh, yeah.
gray zip-up suits, you
You
gotta
know,
stay in
yeah,
there.
you
Yeah.
gotta stay.
You're by the
I
boiler
had
room.
I
It's
remember
true.
I never felt more. I felt terrible, and I talked about this on the show. Andrea and I took an 8-day cruise for we never had a honeymoon, so we took this 8-day cruise, and we'd saved our money to do this thing. We had like a really good deal, and we got the best cabin on the back of the boat.
Oh, sweet,
right?
yeah.
So we're back there, and it
Nice.
had a whole deck and everything. You remember this? And it was amazing. The
Yeah.
only bad part is one little door. If it swung open, you could look over the side, and I could see all the crew in their gray jumpsuits huffing cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
I
like
know where that
literally
is.
looking up at me like, "Oh, I'll kill you if I get out of here. If I get free, I'm gonna tear you limb from limb."
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
it
true.
made me feel bad, like
Yeah.
it kind of was like, put a wall
Yeah,
up
yeah.
here.
It is, and there are a
I
lot
didn't
of
say
those
that.
people.
That's not.
Yeah,
what I
Put
said.
a wall.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
say that. That's a poor choice.
Okay.
That's a poor choice of words.
You do look around and then you glance down to see if your feet are chained to the ground just to make sure.
Yeah.
You're like, these employees' feet chained?
I'm trying to look at the dolphins. I see these
uh,
guys smoking.
Is this free will
Yeah.
here? What are they involved in? Anyway.
That is the door's fault. That door should have stayed closed.
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
could've-
It killed my
could've
Disney
complained out
magic.
of that.
So when you do these type of things, you said it's 3 months. So how many
That's a long
how many
time.
cruises in that 3 months? Like how many different voyages are you on?
Well, if you do the math, which I don't know, I don't have a calculator, but it's every cruise within that three and a half month period was either a 6 or an 8-day cruise.
Those
And
are
they're all
big
back
boy.
to back.
Those are big boys.
So we're arriving on a Saturday, leaving that Saturday, arriving on a Sunday, leaving Sunday, and there's about a 4 or 5 hour window.
Where they turn that boat over
They just
when we're in
yeah,
Coco,
that
and it's
boat
like
is getting
everyone's
do you
completely
guys even get off at
sanitized.
Coco?
We could because they have
When we had time
when
to,
we had
of
time, which
course,
was not
yeah.
very often.
They got to
'cause
pressure wash the balconies
Yeah.
where everybody's been pumping their old lady.
No, but-
They do. It's disgusting.
He's doing the show and the pressure washing guys like trying to go around him. That was pretty hilarious. Pretty much every Sunday we'd start somewhere quiet and it would be like
I could find the
pandemonium.
quietest place on the boat. And after 3.5 months, like you really get to know the boat. Like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is a quiet
Yeah.
spot. And within 5 to 15 minutes, there
Gray
would be
suit
a
person.
group of
Oh,
guys
gray
in
suit.
jumpsuits
Yeah.
that would show up with pressure hoses and mops, and they just start swabbing the deck right there in front of
Well, you
me.
were finding all
And
the
I'd
nooks
be-
and crannies.
I'd be on the air with, I'd have Josh in between. I'm like, Josh, they're here. He's like, who's here? I said, the guys I told you about. And they're
Surrounding
they're
you.
kind of looking at me like, we understand what you're saying. Why are you talking about it?
Oh, yeah. I fed you my grandma's recipes, for Christ's sake. This is how you treat me?
And again, we're
They're
all-
just doing their job.
we're driving around listening to Sunday Morning Coming Down. We're like, he's doing it today, and you're doing it on
Yeah.
a cruise ship.
Yeah.
You've been on for months. You're
Yeah.
Joseph's miserable. Jesse's not that miserable. we don't have to say that.
She liked it. She
She's
got that
sleeping.
and-
5
Yeah.
patty Guy Fieri burger.
And then he's just doing.
Ice cream machine.
Ice
all
cream
day.
machine rules,
I
man.
do.
Orange
I love
juice
that
whenever
thing.
you want it.
You know,
And I like that concentrated orange juice for some reason. It gets me in the fillings.
what's interesting.
Walmart Mountain Dew.
Because I can see for you guys who like to travel and like to be free, all right? Because
Yeah.
I feel
Freedom,
like your
that's
guys'
the-
whole vibe is
Yeah.
freedom, and then I feel like cruise ship on paper, you're like, oh, it checks
Yeah.
all the boxes. Like you travel around,
Yeah.
you go to different
Yeah.
places or whatever, but
It was not.
it's kind of a jail cell of so
Yeah.
you know where you're
It
stuck
was.
on the ship,
Yeah.
and then it's the opposite of freedom, but really.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing that from you.
Our music manager actually compared it to that.
Yeah.
He this lovely guy
Welcome
from
to jail, maggots.
That's what it was.
It's like the
he's,
first day.
he's from Colombia, and I remember one of our sit-down meetings. He's like, "I imagine this is a bit like jail for you." And I'm like, "No, I wasn't gonna go that far, but
You have many more possibilities in your country.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, you're right. We should have thought of that.
you know, it's
Everyone here, this is their last resort.
for a lot of people that's true, and that's where it made me feel kind of like, who am I to complain?
Oh, but we
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
When you get to know and you absorb the experiences that everybody else is having, working 60, 80 hours plus a week, who am I to go, man, I mean, we're sleeping in bunk beds and a relatively large cabin.
Yeah, compare.
And we have to get up and do these drills at 9:30 a.m.
But those
just-
people are coming from gigs. They started at 5 a.m. They're going to drill and go right back to work.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we can get a nap in between.
Yeah.
So relatively speaking, it wasn't bad.
So-
But to answer the question, Jessy said yes, we do it again. I said no, but I would amend my answer by saying, yeah, I'll do it again, but under the
Now we know
right
to ask.
circumstances,
Yeah.
We kind
the,
of
the the right conditions, which now we've asked for, and I
Yeah.
think that we could get them. And it may not be with Carnival, it might be with a different cruise line. But the thing of it is, we could never have conceived of doing that if we didn't have this experience first.
And now the
So this was like a
training-
necessary
Yeah, you got it out of the way.
pain to
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the maritime law training goes from ship to ship. It's literally just what's required of you
That's
to
what they
know when
told
you're
us.
on the water.
yes.
So it's supposed to last 5 years or something like that. We haven't looked into it because our schedule's still too full
Yeah, yeah.
till
Well, Tom
spring.
Scuba,
so.
he's open water, deep
This is
water.
mesmerizing, by the
love
way.
scuba
Speaking of
diving.
scuba
Oh,
diving.
sorry. Yeah.
Well-
Did you have any
No, see, we
crazy nights where you
thought-
fell out of your bunks, or did
Oh,
you have any
yeah.
nights where you thought the ship was going down or anything?
Not going down, but the ship moved around quite a bit.
I
more
like
like
the
falling.
rocking was nice.
Yeah, I like it
I-
too.
I like that.
Well, let's talk about the customers here because I saw there's some social media videos going around. I don't know if Daniel saw them, but like I saw it on TikTok the other day. They're like sold out Carnival cruise ship during departure, and then it looked like. I mean, the biggest crowded party on the top deck, and they're playing. I mean, the humanity there, it was insane. And then, and what I know about cruise passengers, because we're doing the Tom and Dan cruise,
they're the most polite.
is that you
top tier Southern charm.
You're on a cheapo vacation with unlimited free gray hot dogs
and booze. It's the booze.
And this may be your one vacation a year to blow it out.
And Uncle Tony loses his mind the first hour of the first day.
We saw that.
Yeah, we did.
And you are drunk and you don't care about nothing.
Do you get to see all the people that are like in wheelchairs dead that are getting wheeled down to the brig?
So can you believe that there is a morgue on those ships?
Yeah. In case someone dies,
I
they
didn't know there was
put
a
you
morgue.
in the
That's where
freezer.
you should have done your show, dude.
That would have been hilarious.
Totally
It was
quiet.
right by the
I
laundry.
should have done it for the morgue.
Totally quiet. Coming to you live from the morgue.
Probably not going to see a lot of interruptions.
Yeah, that's
hopefully.
very cowboy.
Or if you do, there's something to talk about.
Yeah, super Johnny Cash to go live from the morgue. Man.
I'd like it better if they
cold in there.
Osama you off the side, you know what I'm saying, into the ocean.
This week's theme: dead people.
Yeah. Songs about putting men in the ground.
Yeah, but it really is just like a giant working town of that never stops.
A massive
and to be
hotel.
honest, did you ever go to that opening party once the whole time we were on it? You never even stepped foot there.
No, it just seemed like
You know where to avoid.
wasn't my
you
cup
know
of
where
tea.
those people are.
Did you guys have any enemies? Like,
Yeah,
were
yeah.
the singer-songwriters versus like?
we got along great with everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Okay, you
Crew
didn't have
was
like
awesome.
I wanted you to have like enemies like the breakdancers, like
The
really
captain
hated
and
them,
his
something.
and the staff captain were
Oh, they were awesome.
big fans. They'd come to all
Nice.
of our shows. Oftentimes, I'd be playing, going, "Who is steering the ship right now?" These guys,
Yeah.
Down
right
the
there,
street,
just
having-
smiling and giving us a.
Yeah. You're killing it, man.
Yeah, they were good folks.
That's awesome.
And their
And even-
names, Marco and Paulo.
All right.
Pretty close.
So close.
So close.
So close.
Oh man, almost there. Almost there.
So, what's your guys' plans in the next? Do you guys plan out your 2 years in advance, 5 years? Like, do you kind of take it year by year?
He's a 5-year guy, and I'm a minute by minute.
I should start planning farther in advance, but right
5 years,
now
never
we've got
five.
we're planned up until March of next year.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, that's good.
And then does that involve like how long are you in Florida for? When do you start heading back towards Alaska?
That's all done, like flights and all that's booked. We actually go to Ireland on the 15th, and we are touring in Ireland for 3 weeks.
For birthday
For his
soiree.
birthday.
Oh.
You
that's
guys
cool.
remember
Whirlwind
Casey's
tour.
on Central?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
So,
So
he went out to
Casey
New
is
Smyrna,
hosting us.
but then he bought a bar
He's
in
in
Ireland.
Wexford,
Oh,
which is
really?
about an hour and a half, 2 hours south of Dublin.
Yeah.
And we have a handful of gigs playing at Casey's in
That's so
Wexford.
cool.
Yeah.
And then we're playing. Looks like we're going to be doing something in Dublin as
With the
well
Hard Rock
at the
and
Hard
stuff.
Rock,
Killer, man.
shooting some video.
Have you
Yeah.
guys met enough people in your travels that you can kind of hop around the world just based on the people you know and like business owners and
Absolutely.
but
Yeah.
like bar owners will host you like
Absolutely.
like Casey's in
Yeah.
Dublin.
Yeah,
You're like,
that's
hey,
crazy,
come play
dude.
here, and
How
then
cool is that?
you make a little bit of money, and
Yeah.
then like it really is an awesome way to live where you're making money as you travel and doing what you love to do.
I
and
think it's
you're-
what we all used to do.
yeah.
Before we all got like, no, let's just park it here and kill ourselves.
Well, that
With
was,
these crazy ass jobs, right? Like, nope, right here's
No,
fine, and this
I'm
is
good.
okay, and I'm
Yeah.
just gonna sit here and make my money and die.
well, the rest of us shackled our legs to kids, and now we're
Yeah.
stuck
And we're in the
until we
gray
die.
jumpsuits smoking cigarettes on the back of the boat.
Yeah.
Kids is a big thing. Joseph and I were lucky we had the same kind of ideas that we just didn't want that. And so it's been great because that does change things. You can't.
Way better without
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
You can't. They're expensive too.
Yeah.
Like if
Oh,
you can
God.
just go travel and of course stay above bars. We stay. We don't care about our accommodations. We're not picky about those things.
I
So
care a bit about.
I
the
know, but we've stayed
accommodations.
some pretty places I wouldn't have any kids
Wha-
at.
Our
You know, my-
standards are flexible.
Yeah. I like
What's the worst?
I
Yeah.
like a biker clubhouse.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What's
You
the
need
worst-
a level of safety.
Okay, in the past 2 years, what's the worst place you slept?
No, but it's gonna be different.
Carnival cruise ship.
It's gonna be different. It's gonna be different for both of them. Remember, you got into
Yeah.
trouble last time you
Yeah.
asked a question like this.
That's true.
Yeah.
There was a place on the Turnagain Pass.
Oh.
Where is that?
It's just south of Anchorage.
Okay.
It's this big, like a 30-mile hairpin
Around the
that
ocean.
you go around. They call it the Turnagain because you're constantly turning. I guess that's where they got the name from.
Brilliant. That is brilliant. The turn
That's the
again.
first time I heard it.
Turn again, turn again.
Makes sense.
Anyway, at one part of this big Turnagain arm, they call it. There's a couple of really
Bear. I don't want to say it because they're friends of ours.
it's a motel, and that bed, there's no way you could move without it going. And it was insane. It was like something out of a bad SNL skit. Because but on top of that, it was just so small. And then
it's in the middle of nowhere, though.
In the middle.
It's in the middle of nowhere, but it was so loud you'd thought that they were hosting the Olympics. There was, and then speaking of Olympics, there was this family from somewhere, and their children were just running around like practicing calisthenics. Like it sounded like they were tossing a medicine ball, but it was hitting the walls and the ceiling and the floor, and it was just on and on and on, like
6 in the morning because the sun doesn't set.
I would have thought, if I didn't know that it was a family, I would have thought that there was some
like a fight,
like chemical stuff going on.
They're all coked out of their head.
Right.
He's not sure he can say it.
There were children involved, and they were just up all night. Anyway, that
coked
was
out children.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way,
Mountain Dew, same thing.
Yeah,
you mentioned something I forgot about. It's like there are sometimes a year it doesn't get dark.
Yeah.
And so it's
doesn't
just
that drive you nuts?
And that's in the summer, right?
Well,
yeah, so right now, solstice just happened.
Yeah, so all the days are getting a little shorter.
Already.
But
but for most parts, it's like 20 hours of sunlight and then the 4 hours of like dusk.
It's nice, though. You can go fishing at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And,
You would know it.
see your line perfectly. You see the fish in the water. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, but what was that movie where I think it was Robin Williams? He went crazy. It's called like Insomnia or something like that. And it was about like living in Alaska, and then like it never gets dark and it just drives people crazy. Like that's a thing.
Well, that's
right?
what you have Ambien for.
Yeah. But Ambien also makes you have sex with homeless people at Walgreens. Remember that?
Side effect.
I'll never forget that story. Some lady it's right up here at Colonial. She took the Ambien, and she's like, I had sex with a homeless man.
I do.
Sure it wasn't her husband?
No, he wasn't.
No,
and
you
the
can
guy,
black
I think
out
it
on
was
that.
fine. I think the guy, like, there was nothing bad. And the guy was like, yeah, she came up here and had sex with
He
me.
didn't catch anything?
No. A great time. A great time.
When you're in town, do you do Sunday morning coming down now at the station? Or do you still do it?
No.
Have you guys been there
I don't think
lately?
Josh can handle seeing me in person.
Scary.
Okay, have you been
Am I
there
allowed to
then?
say that? It's scary now.
They've kind of downsized.
It's not like an
haven't they?
atmosphere to
Everything
go
is
in.
cubicles and
Yeah.
I'm used to the bigger studio, but no.
And you walk through the big red lobby, which is like, it looks like something sinister.
like if Darth Vader had a station.
Yeah.
Radio
Who were
station.
those
It is a
red
ghost
guys?
town. You're like, is anybody hello?
I don't know who these guys were, but I know the Star Wars nerds will. But there were guys in Star Wars that were all shiny red, and they carried like spears, and they had shiny.
Well, that's what I'm talking
That's
about.
what it looks
that's
like.
what I'm thinking
Yeah,
about.
me
is
too. You
those
did
were like the Vader's henchmen.
Yes, but
But
they're
yeah.
like they're fancier.
Yeah.
I think Josh is going crazier there, sitting in that space, than 4 o'clock in the morning. In
But
the
yeah,
motorhomes.
when we're in town, we usually host, like we did this past Sunday, we host a live Sunday morning coming down broadcast.
Yeah.
We do it to benefit Pet Rescue by Judy.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys
Oh,
know
we
those
love
guys.
Judy.
Yeah, yeah.
Local 501c3.
She's a beast.
She cracks me.
And she's doing the Lord's work, and we
She
love
is.
to help and raise
And
money and
When's
awareness.
The
and
next one's at the porch.
our next
right
one is at the
downtown.
porch
Oh, I love
in
the
Winter
porch.
Park, July 14th.
Okay.
And
We leave the next morning.
we have,
Friday.
it's a great opportunity for us to get to meet the people who listen to the show and they share their rituals, what they do every Sunday. It's a beautiful thing.
What time
And-
does it start on July 14th at the porch? We work with the porch. So
Well,
you
it's
know.
the same hours as the show, which is 9 a.m. to 1 Eastern Standard.
Okay.
And
But I think they start brunch at like 10:30 or something. But people
Yeah.
come and hang and start drinking right at 9 a.m.
they're starting
Yeah.
brunch actually at 11, but they're going to have 2 bartenders opening early. So at 9 a.m.
You
or,
get you a
or
cocktail.
just prior to our show, you'll be able to get a cocktail, get a proper Bloody Mary,
There you go.
and celebrate some good country and Western music. And
Who's
all
your
of
favorite right
requests.
now? Who are you listening to? What are you guys?
Like newer stuff?
Yeah, newer stuff. You got anything you tell people?
Well, we've been
I
getting
really dig Tyler Childers.
love
and,
Tyler Childers, Cody Jinks.
Brandy Carlisle.
What's not to love about Brandy
I mean, she's
Carlisle, all the members of the High Women.
Yeah. They're just doing some really cool stuff.
I'm stuck on like if I can't listen to you, I go to Willie's Roadhouse on Sirius XM.
That's all the same stuff. Yep.
And
awesome.
No, you're better. They get.
It's not all the same.
No,
stuff.
they do. They get
We're
a
a
little
lot
too,
more diversified.
Yeah, they do a little.
I think
too,
Jesse
lot
is like,
more
it's the same.
This is like.
Oh, you're
love
not
it.
supposed to say that.
I love
Well, it's
cruises.
literally everything I just said. Like I didn't say anything.
Willie does the same as we do. Maybe even better. I don't know.
And he's Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson's been
And there's
around
no
a minute.
commercials. Whoops.
Yeah. Right.
Back
No,
on the
they
cruise.
They do funny things. The reason I like it is because they do funny things. They're getting old, and they'll have like DJs on there. The last time I was listening to it, and these are older. A lot of them are musicians that are also DJs, right?
Yeah.
So they're kind of stealing the whole gimmick.
Yeah.
And this guy's complaining about how Instagram locked him out, and he's and I'm like, I can't wait to vote, and I'm like, here it goes. I was like, uh-oh.
Is somebody actually leaning on the Instagram vote? I don't know.
Social media scares people, though.
Yeah,
Scares
that's
people.
true. Okay.
Scares especially old people.
Need to know that.
So are there any and then you, Jesse, you said you leave right after the July 14th event?
Yeah, we leave for Ireland to do our tour there.
Later that night.
And then from
Catching a
Ireland we go
flight.
to Alaska for the rest of the summer. We're going later to Alaska than normal for several reasons, but it works out. And then we're gonna stay the winter in Alaska again, which we're really both excited about.
Haven't done that in a few years.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have to
How's the winter?
Do you have to pile up all the wood? And
Luckily, someone's
That's a
done
very good
that.
question.
do you have to do that? Because I watch these shows,
Yes,
and there's that
typically-
one show where that ranger is the big heavyset lady.
Yeah.
She's
Oh, yeah.
a badass, dude. She's out chopping the wood, and
That's
she
a
pops
good
it in
person to have in your team.
there.
Of-
Yeah. and
Yeah,
she's-
people start asking you now, or have you started chopping your wood for the winter? But
That's the
luckily,
This would be considered late to get
started,
on
yeah.
chopping. your
Really?
wood.
And
Yeah.
you guys have instruments, so you're very
Goddamn.
much like the grasshopper that fiddled through the right.
Very much
I
like
feel
that.
like that's totally
Yeah.
you. Like
Just
remember.
get some natural gas.
You remember the parable? Do you remember the parable where the insect
Nah, no.
whittled? He's fiddling through the whole thing, and then he dies. I think he begged the other insects for wood or something. I don't know. I'm messing that up.
I'm gonna have to look the parable up.
Yeah, it's
I won't go with insects for wood
Oh,
chopping.
yeah, I know the one.
It might be a little slow.
Grasshoppers are lazy.
Somebody's luckily will have that taken care of us. That's the fun thing about Alaska. The
You
place.
think he's going to have a few cord of wood for us?
Well, I also know. Oh yeah,
All right.
yeah. We better.
We'll
clear that
ship
up,
you
though.
one. We'll
But
send you one.
it's 2024. You won't die,
Oh
right?
my God! What if
You won't freeze to
What's
death.
the date of the event? What if we did a wood drive?
Oh, bring your wood.
No
Perfect.
one's ever done that. Oh, wood
No,
drive, and then you guys
just
can carry it with
cords
you
of
like
it.
diapers.
It's
Yeah.
it's $18,000 to ship this back to Alaska. Last question. If
You know people are gonna bring wood now. Thank you
I'm
so
sorry.
much.
I'll cut that out. I'll
Thank
cut
you.
it out. Keep your own wood. Keep your wood at
Keep
home.
your wood.
I want to bring my sons to Alaska, where should I go?
Oh man, do
Well,
they
you-
love to fish and be out in the open?
Oh,
They
it's their
don't love
favorite
that.
thing. Oh
Okay.
boy, do they!
Well,
This
Max
is-
loves it.
That's a big question. 'cause
One
if
of them's
they're like
named
video
fishing,
game
and the other's
kids,
named hunting.
fishing and hunting.
Yeah, they love it so much.
Well, you're going to fly in and out of Anchorage,
Okay.
and you're going to spend
I'd
probably.
say Alyeska, Girdwood, not far, and all the
What-
amenities of being a kid
It's
who
a,
does.
it's a nice hotel. It
Yeah.
has a little feel of The Shining,
Yep.
just enough to make
Okay.
it interesting.
But
I want to
there's-
see. I want to get out in the country.
The
And,
Kenai
yeah.
Peninsula.
Yeah, you're close there.
Okay.
which runs you can find it on the map, but it's just a single highway. Once you go south out of Anchorage and you take that Turnagain loop that I was
Yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah.
about, that'll take you at one point the road splits and you can either go to Whittier or Seward, or you can take a right and that'll take you to Cooper Landing all the way down the Kenai Peninsula, and it's called the Kenai Peninsula after the river, the Kenai, which is world famous for salmon and trout, and there's whitewater rafting on the
There you
8
go.
Mile. Is it 8 Mile or is it?
God, it's beautiful country.
It's insane.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
But again, if your kids aren't so into that, you can still find like amenities. But it's definitely something
Yeah.
I would check into with somebody who does have
You
kids.
like the rafting.
Stay at Gwynn's.
This guy's a rafter. He last
Do
time,
you? Do you
last
like
time he
raft?
went rafting, I think he got in trouble for admiring the guide.
Oh no, but I want to. No,
Yeah,
no,
it
no.
was like a powerful river lady.
I want to get out into Alaska and and
Yeah, run around in a loincloth
I want
and
to
stab a bear.
I want to sleep in a cabin. I want to rough it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you are you down with RVing?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
throw
Yeah,
the
you
family in
know
an RV.
me.
Okay.
Get
I've
and
got a
just
great
go.
idea for you, and I'll have to look it
yeah,
up off air, but save you a lot of money, and you can pick up an RV.
You can actually get paid to do
it's
it.
on. It's one of the states
Ooh,
that's on the
Drugs. Drugs in
Yes,
an RV.
yes.
All
run
you
drugs
gotta
in Canada.
do is
It's
take
right.
10 pounds of contraband.
What happened?
Into
Canada. Joseph Martens had me and my sons driving this cocaine.
That's a story. I want to die
Even
with
better
that story.
idea. Just
badass.
put it in the
I guess I can say this now because it's so illegal, but I got stopped the first time in Canada with weed.
I
And
remember
they
this.
almost sent me to like Canada jail.
I remember when you
Hold
couldn't
on,
talk
Canada
about this.
loves weed.
Yeah.
No, you mentioned this to
And I
me,
said
and
I
you were
couldn't
like,
talk
"I
about it?
can't talk about this."
Oh, yeah.
I remember this.
So I was in some ways. This story is somewhat true, but I wasn't trying to.
the only
smuggle
promise at
everything.
the end of it was the guy goes, "Well, we're going to keep your name off the Interpol."
They took all my
How's
weed
that
though, man.
sound
Took
for
all
you?
Was
my
it just a
weed.
personal amount or was it a lot?
It was a little bit more than that.
Hey.
But I mean, it was personal for me.
Jessy.
It was personal for me. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I barely even
Are we
smoke a
driving
joint
RV
anymore.
down the loop?
And we all had different tolerances at different times.
Yeah, it wasn't that strong either, like it is now. You get
Yeah.
a little bit, and you're like,
Yeah, it's true.
Lord.
That is true. You used to need
Yeah.
like a big old baseball-sized bag of
back
weed to
then
get
there
high.
was like seeds in it still,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, again, July 14th at the porch.
Yes.
If you want to watch Sunday Morning Coming Down
Yep.
live, have an awesome brunch.
Yes.
Go see Jesse and Joseph off before they leave to Ireland. They're only in town for a small amount of
Yeah,
time.
it's
Yeah.
probably one of your only times.
Here's the
to see
thing.
them.
Thank them for doing it.
Yeah.
Like they are doing
Oh,
it for
thank you.
us. They are
Yeah.
doing it for you guys. Like this is like it's seriously
You have like a digital tip jar. Like, hey,
Yeah.
thanks for doing this. Here's $20.
And it's commercial
Yeah.
free when you're in person because when we go to a commercial break, I play a lot of requests that we really can't get away with playing
Beautiful.
on air.
Yeah.
The ones that drop the
Also, what's
fleeting
the-
expletives.
What's the one
Yes.
gig that we're doing over there in New Smyrna with the
Oh yeah,
Cowboys
Hindu
at the
Cowboys are doing
Oh,
a
kill it.
You
reunion
gotta see the
show
band, yeah.
July 12th at the Beachside Tavern
New Smyrna?
in New
Nice.
Smyrna Beach. If you've heard of the Hindu Cowboys, that's awesome. Come see our reunion. If you've never heard of the Hindu Cowboys and you're familiar with Sunday Morning Coming Down, you're going to love the old school country music that we play.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Legendary band.
Guys, thanks so
we
much.
love you guys. Thanks
We
for
love
being
you
here.
guys.
We
Yeah,
love
so
you
good to
too.
see
Thank
you
you so
guys.
much for
I know
having
it's
us
like
again.
like once a year we get to see you, but if you're
Yeah.
ever in more than that, please come by because we
Yeah.
love being able to talk to you guys.
Love you
Cheers.
guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, we did it. Nice job,
yeah.
y'all.
This place
We're
so-
still on Twitch and YouTube.
Cool. I think that's it for.
Is that it for today?
Recording today, yeah.
Guys.